Hello, welcome, welcome everybody to episode 7. My name is Yas, aka THISKIDIS40, and welcome. And yeah, man, here we are. I've made a huge mistake, guys. I've made a huge mistake. I'm gonna tell you all about it. So today's episode, we're gonna run through a few things. We're gonna run through that big mistake I made. We're gonna run through. Gonna share my reward, which was very small, by the way, which I didn't want to make a whole video on. That was how small it was. And last but not least, we are going to talk a little bit about Game Week 292. Very excited. I bought a lot of players. There are a lot of new players in the club. Some, I bought just from a trading aspect. Some I'm buying for, for the performance, hopefully. And also, there's a lot of things that are happening for this game week, so it's going to be a lot of exciting things. So without further ado, let me just, make the screen a little bit bigger, and we can definitely talk a little bit about, what's going on here, man. So the mistake, right? What is the mistake that happened? Okay, so if you guys remember, I think in a couple of episodes before, in terms of my rewards, let's go to my rewards. So I actually received this card here, Nicola Cavallina. Okay, so this was a card that I received, and at the time when I got him, he was actually pretty worthless. Yes, very, very worthless at that point of time. Okay, so I got him when he was about this price here, right? So if you look in dollar, in euros, he was going for about 20 euros. Okay, so what happened was that suddenly one day someone just out of nowhere gave me an offer. So let's go look at my offers. I'm gonna show you. So his price was hovering around 20 euros. I was like, okay, wow, and then I get an offer out of nowhere, which kind of it's a little bit surprising if I'm being honest. So let's just show you my offers received. So yeah, so I got an offer for about 0.0189 ETH. So now ETH is a bit high. That point is about $29. Now it's $32, right? I go from this guy. It's like, wow, someone wants to buy this guy, and I'm thinking, and he's buying overpriced. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's just sell him, right? And I did. So I sold him. This was, I think, just a few days ago. And then what I found out was this Mr. Nicola Cavallina, right, has just got loaned out. So he was a DNP goalkeeper. DNP means did not play. So he did not play. He wasn't playing for a very long time. If you look at his stats, it was pretty bad. He's been DNP literally the whole, he's never played a single game, right? With that being said, he is actually a talent. He plays for the under 21 Croatian national team, right? He's a Croatian national, so he does have talent. So, but I thought that I'll be holding him, for a long time, and then maybe. But then I thought, hey, if there's an offer above price, I don't mind. As you can see, because he has joined to a new club, it's not highlighted yet. He's joined to a middle club in the Croatian league, and he's expected to be a starter. So right now, if you look at his price graph, he has went from the price of 29 euros, right, that I sold him for 32 euros right now. So I sold him at 29.92 at that point in time. And he is now worth 172 euros, guys. I missed out on about 150 euro profit because I did not check. So next time, what I've learned in this expensive lesson here is that whenever someone gives you an offer, go search on Google. Because if I did search on Google, I would have found out that Nicola Cavallina had been transferred to another club, and he was expected to be a starter. So it's painful to just lose this. I mean, this is just one. But another thing that's really painful is also the fact that he was going to be an under 23 goalkeeper starter in the Challenger Europe, which is very rare. So it hurts, guys. This is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I've had. I've made other mistakes, but I feel those mistakes, there was a point of I was risking it, right? But this is just me being careless, and I feel kind of shitty if I'm being honest. Because I mean, even if I didn't, I would have kept him, of course, because I even do have some players who play in the Croatian league. But even if I didn't keep him, that reward became 100. That became a tier 0, tier 1 reward, which is pain, guys. It's pain. Okay. So that was my mistake, guys. So that happened. In terms of reward, I got this really crappy dude here, worth for my tier 3 reward. So he wasn't much. He went up a little bit, I guess, but I was happy to sell him at a loss because I didn't need him anyway. So I sold him at about maybe $4 or something like that. So it wasn't much. That's why I didn't want to create a video out of it. But yeah. So that's it so far, man. Still hurting from this mistake I made. Okay, but with that being said, I bought a lot of players, guys. I've actually went a bit crazy in actually kind of improving the team. Kind of run through review some of the new players that I've gotten. Yeah, as you can see, I've actually brought in the past, I would say 2 weeks or so. Yeah, I bought him a lot, man. Yeah, so as you can see from, wow, I would say from here, things you can see about maybe 15-20 players. So I'll kind of explain some of my moves and why I've actually kind of made it. So for example, like some of them are purely from the basis of trading, right? So example, like this guy called Wu Lei. So Wu Lei, right? He is is a Chinese international that plays for Espanyol. There is news that he has moved back to China called Shanghai Port, which is one of the best teams in China. He's a very good. Even as a China national, like a China international team, he scores insane. He gets insane scores. He always scores crazy. So I'm expecting him to do very, very well. So I am pretty excited to have him. I bought him for about 40 euros, but this guy, when he starts scoring, he can easily go up to about 70, 80 euros. I can double this pretty easily. So I bought it right here. You see some people are already buying him at about 50 euros. So bought him slightly, I wish I bought him here. I wasn't fast enough, but it's okay. I think what I want to say also is sometimes like, okay, yes, you're not getting at the lowest. I mean, I do not have the capacity to scout players or even have the bankroll to buy players, and then just hold them, right? So for me, my strategy is to always find people on the higher trend. I don't have to be at the bottom, but as long as I'm at the point where I feel that increasing, it's okay. So I'll give you a great example. Like there's one very famous player called Enzo Fernandez, right? In Sorare. Probably one of the best performing. He's not in Benfica, but he used to be at River Plate. I just want to show you his price graph, right? From 1 year perspective, right? So you see, right? The thing is, at one point of time, in November last year, he was only worth 0. Let's look at it from euros, right? He was only worth, it was only worth like about 50 euros, right? Or even lower at one time, about 27 euros. There was once upon a time. But then he started getting game time, he started scoring a lot of goals. At the high point, he was worth 875 euros. I'm not saying Wu Lei is going to get there, but if Wu Lei can actually... So the thing is, I'm expecting Wu Lei to reach probably about the 100 euro range, right? Maybe somewhere here. So as long as I buy him when it's here, it's fine. I don't need to be all the way at the bottom. I just need to be at the top. Of course, not everyone follows this trend, but I feel this Wu Lei has a good chance. He's going to be in a good team, that's going to really go, and they usually beat the opponents very well. So yeah, man, I have high faith that this Wu Lei, I would say, gamble will work out. I don't say gamble, it's an investment. Yeah, there is some knowledge behind it, I guess. So yeah, there's that. I've also loaded up on a few Toronto FC players, Jesus Jimenez. I've also bought Jonathan Osorio and Michael Bradley. So the reason why I've loaded up on Toronto FC players very much simply is because with the addition of Lorenzo Insigne and Bernardeschi, the Toronto FC attack looks amazing. So just to show you, right? So I'll show Michael Bradley. It's a good example. So Michael Bradley, I got this rare. It's pretty cheap. He probably he might not even last the next season. It's more of a, I'm just buying him from this season perspective. Let me just find him. Michael Bradley. There we go. Okay. So just to look at his SO5 scores, right? Yeah. So look at the difference. See, Toronto was literally like doing very badly, but even then also he was probably doing like in some matches, even in losses, he has very, very high AA scores. But when against Toronto, he went insane. So this Toronto match against Charlotte, right, was pretty insane. I mean, look at that, man. Literally, the top 6, only Jesus Jimenez did not actually get any decisive. But with that being said, I expect him to. He was very unlucky. I saw the highlights. Very unlucky not to get a goal or assist. But everyone hit a decisive in the top 6. So I feel that this is it's just a basis of how they play. And Michael Bradley is literally, firstly, he's going to keep his space. He's the boss's son. That's one. Number 2, he is many ways basically the guy pulling the strings in the whole midfield. So it's a bit advanced. He's in an advanced age, but I feel very strongly that he's going to continue. So even Jonathan Osorio, I've also gotten his card. I've also gotten his. So I got 3 out of 6, hoping that they will perform now. So that's one investment I've also made. I've also invested in a bit of I would say Philadelphia Union stack. So in the MLS, the best defensive team right now is actually Philadelphia Union. So I bought this guy Jacob Lesnes, who is pretty insane right now. He's on top form. And I also bought Kai Wagner. Where's Kai Wagner? Oh, this guy. I bought him at a pretty high price for 2 reasons. Number 1, as you guys know, Sorare changed the scoring matrix. This guy will benefit most from the scoring matrix. That's one. And number 2, because of the fact that they are in such a good defense, Philadelphia Union does not, I would say, concede a lot of goals. So I feel that they will do very well in the next few matches. And their lineup is pretty easy. So yeah, his price also gone up quite a bit. But okay, I don't think I got him at the highest price, which is good. But just kind of showing you a little bit about how he plays. His scores. Yeah, he scores really. He's probably one of what you call a tier 0, tier 1 card, man. He's on a tear right now. He plays left back, and I feel that they do not concede much. In the past 3 matches, they seldom concede more than 1 goal in a match. I think the last time they conceded 2 goals was all the way back in May. So they are on a very good defensive run. So I am very excited to kind of and their favorite matchups in Houston, Cincinnati, Chicago. I mean, they're good teams, but they're not exactly the best teams also. So I think they have a favorable run. And yeah, and they are probably one of the best teams, and I think they should be ranked number 1, if I'm not wrong, Philadelphia Union. So I have two defenders, simply because of the I can't see. Let me just take a look for a while. So yeah, so for me, let me see. Yep, they are the top team right now in the, I would say. So this is in the Eastern Conference. So LA and Philadelphia are the best teams. So yeah, that's probably why. That's one of the reasons why I got both of them. So Kai Wagner. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of other players also. I think those are the highlights, I guess, that I've kind of gotten. So I think what I want to do now is kind of run through my game week. I'm going to run through my teams for this upcoming game week 292. I will have 9 teams. I'll be playing 9 teams, guys. Pretty crazy. Okay, so I'm going to run through my red team first. Okay, let me take a sip of water while the page loads. Okay, I'm very scared of this team, guys. Very scared. Okay, why am I scared? Because firstly, there's a huge COVID outbreak in all of J League right now. So, like for example, Avispa has like 9 players on COVID, and he's my only forward left in the rare. So I have no idea whether he's going to play. Choi Young Jun should play. And he's going to play. He's playing for Jeju. If I'm not wrong, he's playing for Jeju. Yeah, Jeju. He's going up against his former club, Jeonbuk. He will get. He's a very good threshold player, so I'm okay with him. Michael Bradley, I think, also will definitely play. I expect him to score some good points. So I have a lot of faith in this too. Jubilo Iwata definitely will play, but I think they will concede a lot of goals because 2 of the other defenders are suspended, and they are going up against. Okay, Shonan isn't the best team in the world. So maybe, hopefully, they can get a bit of a. If they get a clean sheet, this guy's going to score like that. But we'll see. And then KGH, as per normal, I don't expect him. I hope he doesn't concede a goal. He's going up against Avispa, which is pretty insane. So I don't know, man. I do not have a lot of hope. I'm just hoping for the low threshold or high threshold. I highly doubt I'll get a reward out of this. But for the threshold, we'll see how it goes. I think my strategy now is I'm going to keep quite a bare minimum for my rare team, and then slowly swap them out for a more European team, like a challenger Europe team, because I think all of this they're probably going to be on. The seasons be ending, in about 1 or 2 months' time. So I think that's why some of the prices are pretty low. Some I will keep for next season, but there'll be some even at the loss. I'll probably take the loss. It's fine. Okay, so that's my rare team. Okay, my limited American team. So I have a lot of faith in this team. I think this team will do very, very well. I've just brought in Aljas Ivacek from Portland Timbers. I think he's a very strong player. So I'm going to Jacob Glesnes, like I just said, I've captained him. Philadelphia is the best defensive team in the whole of MLS. So I think he's going to do very, very well. My GOAT is the Brahian Element, who has okay, I mean, their form hasn't been the best, but he's still doing very, very well for the team. So I expect him to kind of, at least get the 70, 80 scores that he's always used to. And then, yeah, my Toronto stack, man. I'm putting faith in Jonathan Osorio. He's taken over the midfield role very, very well. With, like I said, Insania Bernardeschi in the team. Toronto is very, very potent in attack, and he will get decisive. He will get assists. He also has good AA scores. I have a lot of faith for him. And Jesus Zemes, he did not get the decisive in the next match, but he is a pretty good striker. I mean, he was very unlucky not to get. And because of that, his price actually went down a little bit. So I managed to get him at a bit of a discount. So I'm putting faith in him. He will be my striker. And yeah, so this is my team. I have faith for this team, and I think this team can do well. So I'm pretty excited to see how well they do this weekend. The next team I have is a Specialist Limited team. So I put a lot of thought into this, guys. So the Specialist Limited team, it's basically a team where you feel 2 players below the average score of 40, which is I've added Kwang Chan-hoon, my first one, simply because I think this is a good matchup. There are 2 teams that are out of form right now. He can get decisive. If he's going to get decisive, this is the team he's going to get a decisive against. So hopefully he gets, fingers crossed. He's my first under 40 player. My second under 40 player is Chris Budaya from Servette. He's a striker that relies a lot on AAs, but he has a good, I would say, record against FC Sion. He scored against FC Sion, I would say, for the past 2 times they've met. So I'm hoping that he scores again. He's a good form whenever they play this FC Sion team. So I'm hoping so. He's my other, I would say, under 40 rated player. So I've matched them up with 3 high performing players. So the first one is, of course, Ilarum. So Ilarum will be against Charlotte. Charlotte's a weak team. I think he will manage to get a clean sheet, hopefully. And he's been playing very well. He's one of my better goalkeepers that I have in my gallery. So Ilarum will be my goalkeeper. My newly acquired Kai Wagner, who's one of the best players in the whole of the MLS. Yes, I'm expecting big scores for him also. Favorable matchup, Houston Dynamo. I think they can beat Houston Dynamo pretty well. And then last but not least, the oldie but very, very... he's the oldie, but he's consistent, guys. Justin Baram from Real Salt Lake City. Very good matchup against San Jose Earthquakes, who's one of the bottom teams. I hope that he can... He's always got good AAs, but I think he can definitely get a good decisive from this. So that is my specialist team. So the thing about specialists, right, if you do well, right, the prizes are insane. So the first top 3 podium is a star rare. If you get 15, right, it's actually a tier 1 rare. Even 40 is a tier 2 rare. So I will always feel the best possible teams for specialists. And fingers crossed, guys, fingers crossed. My next team is the underdog team. So the underdog teams are players below, I think, the rating of 50 or 45. So the goalkeeper doesn't play. It's a common card. So it's only the basis of these 4 players. So I've added in Frederic Alonso and Alberto Quintero from, what's his name of this club? Club Universitario. They are definitely one of the better performing clubs in Peru right now. Alberto Quintero was rested during the midweek, so I have good faith that he'll play. And Frederic Alonso plays every match, and he always gets good AA. I think the last match he had about a 50 AA, even in he had a 50 pointer even with a loss. So I have good faith that these 2 will do well. Remy Walter, and yes, he is playing for a slightly weaker team. They are bringing up Austin, which is a strong team. But Remy Walter is surprisingly, I want him in a reward. He's surprisingly being a good AA scorer, man. He's been scoring a lot of good AA scores. Let me just show you guys. Like, he is a central midfielder, but I don't know, lately, a lot of passes are coming to him. He's been scoring pretty well. It's not even expensive, guys. If you guys want a good, cheap player, you see his L5 is about in. So he is a 50, even in losses, you're looking at, you see, he lost against the best team in Los Angeles, right? And he got a 22.6 score for AA. So I really like him, and once in a while he gets decisive. So I'm putting him. And then last but not least, he might not start Stanislav, but the last time he did not start, he still scored a goal. So he's just joined FC Seoul. I think he's a fantastic player. He's what FC Seoul really needs. I hope he starts, but I have faith that he can actually get another decisive. So yeah, this is my team for underdog. not as much faith as I have in other teams, but I'm okay with this. Not too bad. It's not a throwaway team. Okay, my next team is my limited Asia. I have a lot of faith for this team. So I have my favorite goalkeeper right now, KDH Kim Dong-hyun. I'm playing him with Harrison Delbridge. I'm doing a defensive stack because I think Incheon is going up against the bottom team, Seongnam. So I feel that, if there's, and they do not concede a lot of goals. If there's a match that they won't score a lot of goals, this is definitely one of them. Team Day One still one of the most informed midfielders in all of Sorare right now. Tough matchup against Ulsan, the best team, but they always concede goals. So I think this is one of those matches that will be a lot of goals, and I think Team Taiwan will shine. Shin Jin-ho, tough match against Seoul FC, but he's a AA monster, man. Yeah, so still gonna. And then Jun Min Kyu, also with against a tough match against Jeonbuk. I feel that he's not playing as well as he should, but he's a very he every few matches will get a decisive. I'm just hoping for a good decisive from him, and then we'll see. But Jeonbuk is definitely the team on form. So matchup wise, it's not probably the best. But I have faith. I think this is a good team. I think this is probably a very strong lineup, I guess, for Asia. My challenger Europe. Okay, this is interesting. This is where I bought a lot of players. So Alexis Shanga, I've been using. He's pretty decent. I've used him for about the last game week. I was pretty happy with his performance, so I'm keeping him. I've actually brought in a new defender called Maxim Osipenko. So the reason why I bought him was because it wasn't cheap, but he is a very, very strong AA scorer from a defense perspective. So I bought him at 38 euros. So as you can see, you see a lot of greens, right? Even in losses, always high AAs. So they have a favorable matchup against Khimki, who's one of the, I think, new teams of the Russian league. So let me just see where Rostov is. So in terms of ranking, Rostov currently is on the 10th. Khimki is actually high, but Khimki is a new team, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, I have faith that they can score good. This is a favorable matchup, I guess, for Rostov. So I will definitely play in. I got in two CSK Moscow players. CSK Moscow is a team to beat in the Russian league right now. George Carrascal and Jesus Medina. They are both AA monsters. I think this is Jose Carrascal's breakout season, I guess, for Moscow. Is playing very well. Okay, I was not supposed to have Monshin in, so I might change him because. So the reason why was because I have another player. I actually bought this guy, Marco Brewer, who's one of the best players in the I would say Austrian league. But there was talk that his team Rapid Wien will not have his match postponed for this game week. So I'm still deciding. We're going to wait a little bit till the end of the game week, end of the, I would say, the timing to kind of understand who I'm going to put in. But if I'm not wrong, they are playing. The match is now on because I think the other team, because they played some sort of conference league playoffs, and two teams, so if they won, they had to play, and if there was another team they had to play with or something like that, and they had to play on a Tuesday match, which they won't allow, so it means the match would have been postponed. Something like that. Don't know whether I'm explaining it correctly. But the good thing is that it seems that he's going to play. So if he's going to play, then I'm very happy with this lineup. If not, then I have to bring in the other guy, which I'm okay with, because LASK has a pretty tough matchup for them. It's okay, never mind. I'm just going to leave him here first. So you see me change the team live. Okay. So let's see. So that's my... So what else do I have? So I have that. Okay. This goes up. Okay, my casual team is pretty simple. I would say not too much about it. So same, I got Gaethje Glasnes, I got Alexander Callens, who's a very good defender from New York SFC. Very excited to finally have a very good star player in Hans Vanaken. So this guy is like the GOAT of Sorare. So and they have a very favorable matchup against the bottom team. Gareth Bale scored a decisive last one. I think he's going to come in and score. Then some. I don't know. I've not won a prize pool, but if I get another tier 0 from common, you're going to get me closer to getting limited rewards from the casual league. So this is okay. This is fine. I'm okay with this. So the other two teams I have, these are just more or less throwaway teams. So I built an under 20 team. So I finally put the trigger on Masato Sasaki. His price went down a bit simply because people were saying, Kashiwa Resol brought another goalkeeper in. I feel this is one of my purchases for the future. He's very young. He's gonna have, under 20 eligibility for another few more years. It's always good to have a young. If you look at Osako, right, or other young goalkeepers, there is not many of them. So I pulled the trigger. About 200 euros, not cheap, but I think his price can go easily about 300 euros at his height. I brought in Kegu Tsumoto from Kashima Antlers. For this especially, I think he's I used to own him. I think he's one of the better, I would say, fullbacks, the young fullbacks in Japan. Once again, this is another player I bought for the future. I see him playing for this team for the next few years, but the prices were so low, I just had to pull it. So Young-woo, one of my favorite, the Korean trend. He has a tough matchup against Gangwon. I hope he scores a goal and get the decisive. What I'm hoping for that match is a 2-2 draw or some shit where, they get assists and, he bombs up and does a lot of attacking runs. So I'm looking forward to that. I got this Ko Jae-hoon from a trade. We said Sinsa out. I think he's going to play more of an attacking role, and I think Suwon FC is a good matchup for Daegu. So I've actually added him, but I've heard rumors that he might be a little bit injured. So I'm going to wait a little bit to see whether there's any news. If not, I'll replace him with another player called Lee Soo-bin. So Lee Soo-bin is also another player. He doesn't score as well as Ko Jae-hoon, but if I have to move him, I have to move him. And yes, Masasu Sakaki and Keigo Tsumoto, they're all in. The reason why I say this is a throwaway thing, because we don't know what's happening on the COVID front. They might not even play, guys. They might not even play. So the next big player I have, right? So yeah, I might actually bring in Lee Soo-bin if I have to as a sub. So the next big player I have is I'm pretty excited for is I just bought this guy called Giacomo Vioni. He plays for New England Revs in the MLS. He just transferred. So he's been said that the main MLS striker, main New Revolution striker, B-O-U, is actually injured, will not come back in time. So it's expected that he will get a run. He will do well because I saw some of his highlights when he was playing, I guess for I would say Austrian League or Swiss League. I can't remember which league. He was very, very good. He's actually he comes up from the Juventus ranks. He was on loan with Juventus, and then now he's actually on loan to New England. With a player like Carlos Gil, feeding him passes, I think we could see a bit of a revival. And I'm putting my faith in him. It's not cheap, this player, but I think it's a good punt to take, for under 23. So yeah, so that's my under 23 and under 23 team, which I don't know. I hope so. Because under 23 rewards are always good. If I get. If I don't, I'm not too unhappy because a lot of these players I'm also keeping for the future. Then last but not least, this is going to be my throwaway team, which is the All-Star team. So these are full of players that I don't know will start. I'm trying my best to I took out my Urawa Reds players. I took out Scholes because Scholes is going up against Kawasaki Frontale, which actually has a huge COVID outbreak right now. So this is one of those like fingers crossed kind of teams. Takareni Sugeno, Sapporo is going up against Grampus, which is a good that one. So if there's a match where he could get a clean sheet, this is one because Grampus is actually not doing very well. Titi is always a consistent scorer for Fortaleza, so I'm gonna just play him on. Masato has a tough matchup against Sanfrecce Hiroshima, but he's always consistent. He's gonna get me at least 50-60 points usually. This is my new player. I bought him, for Challenger Europe. He's a good scorer. Ural is not playing too well right now, and this is not that good of a matchup. But I bought him because I feel that this Ural form is a bit of an anomaly. I think they will find their form eventually, and I think they will do well. So, and he is a AABs, and I got him at a good price. So when they do well, I'll sell him off. That's my plan. And then last but not least, the master Thiago Santana. I think Sagan Tosu is quite horrible defensively. I think Santana, and hopefully Iago Pikachu. Yes, there is a player called Iago Pikachu, which I bought, who just transferred from Fortaleza to Shimizu S-Pulse. And he's also a Brazilian. If Iago Pikachu starts, they are going to score a lot of goals. Like they are going to score. They might even you hear it, they might even survive relegation. And I hope so because I have Thiago Santana and Iago Pikachu. So I'm not risking Iago Pikachu yet because I don't know whether he'll start because he might just come off the bench. But yeah, man. But I'm gonna put in Thiago Santana and I hope he's gonna do well. So that's my team, guys. 9 teams in all. I expect good rewards. Hopefully, I can't wait for the next video where I share with you guys how well they've done. So that should come out on Sunday or Monday. But yeah, man, I think that's about it for this episode of this THISKIDIS40'S Sorare Journey, episode 7. Thank you so much for listening in. Like I said, please like, subscribe, comment, getting quite a bit of comments. Thank you so much. I really just appreciate all the comments and the feedback. And yeah, man, once again, good luck for your game week in 292. Looks like a very exciting one. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.